Welcome to Practice Marketing RX. Today, we're going to look at keyword optimization basics. Practice Marketing RX is brought to you by VoxMD and Becker's Spine Review. When we look at Google, we are looking through a search engine's eyes, and it's going to pull up things based on what it feels are the most valuable terms, and we call these keywords. So if I'm looking for the words artificial discs, you notice that Google points out my misspellings, but it also suggests as I type, here are things that you might be interested in. Now you notice that as I begin typing disc, it shows me artificial disc replacement with a K, and artificial disc replacement surgery, and finally the plural form, artificial discs. Google is telling you in the exact order what the most popular searches are. Let's look at artificial disc replacement and see what we have. We obviously have the ads here, both to the left and to the right on the top and sometimes on the bottom. Obviously, there's a lot of traffic in the ads, but what most people are interested in is what we call the organic results. So here's the number one most ranked position for Nashville, Tennessee. Remember, Google looks at where people in your area are looking, is knowyourback.org, followed by Spine Health, Cedar Sinai, etc., and a nice pro-disc lumbar artificial disc replacement surgical video from the Spine Institute in California. So we look at these things and you'll notice that they all seem to be about artificial disc replacement. It says it over and over and over again in all of these titles. This is the first thing we want to look at. What is a title in Google? Let's look at knowyourback.org, and when I look at the page itself, I see artificial disc replacement here, but this isn't actually your title. Let's pull down our browser and look, and you'll notice that up at the very top, I'm on a Mac, and so I'm using Safari, and I have a gray border around. I have the words artificial disc replacement. This is actually the title. The title is the gray on Mac or blue on PC bar at the very top of your browser. Now, you want to use keywords in your title because this is where they're going to show up, and most importantly, this is what you're going to see. Notice that it says artificial disc replacement knowyourback.org, artificial disc replacement spine health. When there's an abundance of the same titled pages, Google will automatically append what it believes to be the name of the practice, magazine, online service, what have you. Here's intervertebral disc arthroplasty from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, that's talking about artificial disc replacement. It got featured even though the title, as we see here in the gray bar, says intervertebral disc arthroplasty. It doesn't say artificial disc replacement, but Wikipedia has a lot of weight, and it is using the words artificial disc replacement. You see that the search term is found in the bold. But what we're going to focus on for your needs is making sure you have keywords in the title. You want to use keywords in the title from the most important to the least important from the perspective of the keyword in that page. So for instance, orthoinfo.AAOS.org, patient education information provided by AAOS, they have artificial disc replacement in the lumbar spine. These three words are the most important. It's what we were searching for. ProDisc video found on YouTube, on the other hand, has artificial disc replacement later. That's why they are down here instead of up here, because they did not lead with the words artificial disc replacement. If all these pages are like named, then ranking, weighting, how large a site, how many pages link to it, those all come into play for where you fall in here. So you want to use the words going from left to right, what it is you're talking about on your page, all the way to the least one. this is the worst thing I can tell you is your practice name is the least important in the title. Sorry about that, but that's the way it is. You don't want to bother putting your practice name into the title because oftentimes Google will do it for you. Notice that Cleveland Clinic, up here we're called artificial disc replacement, but in the Google results it appended it on there. So don't waste your time or your search terms putting your practice name into your titles on your website and on your web page. The next thing we want to look at is what's called metadata. Metadata is invisible content that you cannot see, but your search engine can. So let's pick on Spine Health and look where in their artificial disc replacement, they have it in the title. The page itself is named artificial disc replacement, and you see that they use the words multiple times throughout the article. This isn't what we're talking about when we say metadata. We have to view the source, and this is where we see metadata. We see a lot of little tags called meta, name equals robot, meta, property, meta, name equals keywords, and of course we have the title found throughout here that is the title of the actual article. The meta that is most important though is the one called description. So you notice this says meta, name equals description, and content equals artificial disc replacement may currently be performed on the lower back, parentheses lower spine, and the neck, parentheses cervical spine. Now this reads like regular content. What we want to look at is if we pull it up here, you see where it reads artificial disc replacement may currently be performed, etc. This content right here did not come from the web page itself. It was pulled directly from here. You notice that our content doesn't say that. It talks about a rapidly developing alternative to spinal fusion surgery. This is where you would get a second chance to optimize keywords, and notice that they lead with those keywords, artificial disc replacement. They also put in lower back, lumbar spine, neck, and cervical spine. So this description is a very powerful tool that you can use to make sure that your pages rank high. So let's review what we know about metadata so far. Descriptions usually come from metadata called description. This is what shows up in Google. And we write descriptions for search engines, not people. Optimize and lead with your keywords and watch your length. You don't want to get too long because Google only gives you so many characters and then it starts cutting you off. Now, many search engine companies have advocated the use of keywords. Now, we said keywords, but we're talking about using keywords in description. But here is one, meta name equals keywords. You would think that would be the most valuable place. Let's put all these terms like artificial disc, disc replacement, etc. So you see how Spine-Health is ganging up, putting all these keywords. For this very reason that people would stuff keywords into the meta keywords, Google, Bing, and other search engines have discontinued the use of the keyword meta. If you use it, it does no harm, but it could look like you're trying to stuff it with keywords that perhaps aren't even on the page. Best just not to use it at all. So let's go and look at the last thing, the content itself, and we'll stay with Spine-Health. Artificial disc replacement is what we were looking for. We've got it in a title. We've got it used throughout for artificial disc replacement surgery. You notice that we have mentioned multiple manufacturers of artificial disc, and we have links all throughout. You want to use keywords and variations of keyword phrases throughout the article, but not obviously overused. Spine-Health did a great job. They've got content in here. It's within context. It looks fine. Now, links, they count, but links with keywords count even more. So where we have an article about artificial disc replacement, Spine Health loads up with the artificial cervical disc article, from artificial cervical disc to disc replacement, replacement surgery, etc. These are keyword-rich links, and they count even more for search engines that look at other pages that also use these search terms for artificial cervical disc and replacement. That's how you maximize your ranking on Google, by continuing to create additional content and using those keywords throughout. That goes to our last point. You want to create multiple pages instead of one giant page, and add video, because as we saw, video ranks really high when we search for these keywords. You get a bonus by being on YouTube, as well as having the same content embedded into your web page. I hope this gives you a better understanding of keyword optimization basics. Be sure to look for articles on practice marketing on Becker's Spine and Review, and visit voxmd.com for more information. Thanks for watching.